Hi, everyone! Welcome back to the show. This is your Jee Sifu right here, and welcome to this Chi in Nature Taoism talk show. So today is my second episode trying this new mic right here. Hope you like it. It's going to give you a little bit better sound, maybe, because the first episode I tried using a mic on the camera side and it sounds kind of echoey, but anyway, and you can see this is my remote, huh? Really cool. So, okay. So let's get back to the topic today. We're going to talk about some interesting topic. Since this is like a new series, so I will begin by going through like the general topics, and then I'll work into the detailed, in-depth topic as we go. So just to like kind of warm up you guys, myself, like that. So okay, first of all, when you search on Google, YouTube for Taoism and Taoist magic, especially Taoist magic, you don't see any like valuable information. There are some crazy people who pretend they are like knowing what they're talking about, but it's actually like when you look at them, it's like, what the heck is going on? It's like people are so weird. They're like weird people who don't even know what magic is, and they start talking about things. It bothers me, Like I just feel that it's scary. Because you know why? I have went through traditional Taoism and Taoist magic trainings in the past, and I am now hosting this lineage right here, which is granted by my teachers in another world. So I'm like passing on their teachings to other people, right? So I have been through the stuff that like the traditional sect teaches, and back then I took that the traditional style stuff and I brought it to the Westerner side, and there are people calling me out and things like that, saying that, hey, you're a scammer and things like that. Well, I don't know why people are so offended when they see like a more like a Chinese guy promoting the magic side of Taoism. But it's so weird because when I look at those things that the like the Westerners are exposed to when they search Taoist magic, is pretty much BS. Like seriously, is so much BS out there. I'm openly saying it here because it really is BS. There's no way to sugarcoat it. It's like some people claim they are a PhD and they started like selling PDFs and teaching their whatever stuff that they mix together with their research. And you know how insulting that is. If you're in a traditional Taoism sect, you go and like what we call is you bai si, right? Bai si is a Cantonese word, and it means to worship your master. Okay, what that means is not like, oh, you put your master on the table like a god. Not like that kind of worship. Worship means you put your faith into your master. Like you don't need any proof or evidence from your master, but you say, I believe you will teach me and be like guiding me to the right place. That's faith. That is like the respect you should have for your master, right? Okay, now what do you call your master in Chinese? Sifu. Sifu. Okay? Sifu, you should have heard this term from Kung Fu movies, right? Like, recently people watched the Wing Chun, the Yip Man, right? Yeah, they call it Sifu. What does Sifu actually mean? The master father. Do you have two fathers or one father? Father, I'm not talking about mother. Like what you are before you here. You are this sperm puddle that comes out of the penis of your father, right? You cannot have two fathers. You can only have one biologically, right? You might have a stepfather, but not a real father, right? Okay. You call your master the Sifu. He should be your one and only one teacher. Now, these Westerner or PhD or whatever thing, I don't even know why they need PhD for teaching Taoism, because in school, there's no real Taoism out there. Taoist master, they teach from their sect, sometimes from their home, from their temple, but not in the school system. It is a thing that you cannot learn in school. So what does PhD have to do with Taoism teaching? Nothing. And then you mix around different places, research, and you're not respecting your master from step one. You're not even learning from your father. That's like your one and only one source, right? Why do you have a few? Why do you need to learn from here and then here and then here and then mix it together? Are you saying that your Sifu cannot provide what you need to make you a successful disciple? That's so insulting. I myself was a Sifu when I was in my high school stage already, because like I used to teach Kung Fu when I was young, right? I teach Kung Fu since high school, and then I go all the way to now. I'm like almost 40, and I still teach martial art and Taoism and Taoist magic. So I understand the feeling a lot. When I was young, loyalty is a big thing. When I learn from the other Sifu, I have learned my lesson. It feels really bad when you see your disciple going to other Sifu and then learn from that Sifu, because it's like the disciple is indirectly telling you that you suck. You don't know your stuff enough to teach that disciple, and that's why the disciple have to search for another source to learn, and that feeling really sucks. To be honest, I have failed this myself. I'm just like going to lay out the ugly side of me for you guys as a reference, right? In my past, I have learned from other Sifu who taught me stuff, right? So Kung Fu, Taoism, right? I have learned from them. And when I was young, I thought my mind was like, I want to learn Kung Fu. I want to get better at it. So this Sifu, teach me well, but I still want to learn these. What about these? Like for example, you learn Wing Chun, right? And then you're like, oh, but what about the other stuff out there? They look cool too. What about Shaolin? What about Baikakun? What about Ying Yi and Mantis and other forms, right? You look outside and you're like, I want to learn those too. Those are also Kung Fu, right? Why don't I just collect everything? I know how that feels. But you know what? I did that to my own Sifu. I left him and I learned from another person, which I thought was more knowledgeable, right? Okay. And later on, well, eventually the relationship with the first Sifu was like not good, because you see the Sifu can't do anything. You left, well, what can he do, right? But the thing is, like, I don't feel that pain until I actually grow up, mature, and saw my own disciple doing the same thing to me. It's like you feel that I put all my effort into this guy and trying to grow this disciple, right? Like a growing kid. And then one day he just decided to go somewhere or ditch everything and disappear. And sometimes you don't even say a word because you're like, oh, I'm gone, then I'm gone, right? Like you feel like it's more like I just go to the school or course and then I just stop going, and eventually I don't pay and the relationship is done, right? Okay, to the disciple, it feels like that. But to me, it feels very hurt, because the day people come and say, okay, you be my master, I have faith in you, I worship you as my master. The feeling from the master immediately is like, okay, you're my son, I'm going to like make you my pride later. Okay, so I'm going to keep teaching you, you know, cooking you up in this system, giving you my best and such like that. When you decided to just go outside and like go over the place, it pisses me off. It makes me mad. It makes me like, why are you so betrayal? It doesn't matter like, oh, you're trying to learn more stuff. It's like, okay, you're trying to learn more stuff, why don't you ask me first? Right? I could recommend you something. Right? I could have stuff that you want already. Why don't you ask me first? Why are you looking around? And that is exactly what these people out there have problem with. Like, they don't understand this Sifu and Taiji, like the disciple relationship. And when that mindset fails, everything fails. Because the thing is, in Taoism, okay, when you do Taoist magic, when you become a Taoist, this is the foundation mindset. You and the God has a relationship when you ordain. Okay? So these people who went to China, they go into the temple, they go through the ceremony and get a cert. What they get in the mind, these guaylo, the ignorant Westerner, whatever PhD, in their mind is like, I paid to come to get certificate. To the Chinese side, if they are actually real master, they will feel, I am accepting you as a disciple. It's not the same mindset, right? The Guaylo don't even understand these things. And then they went there and they think that I'm just buying a certificate. Okay? I paid so much. You give me this and this dress me up like a Taoist. And, you know, I can go back to USA and start teaching. I'm like, wow, there goes the master. You don't even know enough to teach, right? Well, yeah, they feel that too. So they go outside, buy more books, go to more courses, and then mix it together. Because they don't like to commit that time to actually learn from a master directly. You can see that in pattern, you know, like these people, they go to China for like a few months or maybe a summer, and then they come back and wow, there goes a master. It's like, how can you even learn things? I taught my disciples like daily teaching. They can be learning for a few years and they still need to learn. They're still at the stage that I don't think they're qualified enough to teach. How can these disciples don't even know Chinese, right? They go to China and start learning for like a summer course, and then they come back and they can be a master. Do you believe that is actually legit? They put the label PhD in front of them when they promote themselves because they don't have confidence. They need to use that PhD title or the doctor title to back them up so they can, well, quote, like scam people to believe that they are actually legit. But to me, it's like, what does that have to do with that? It's like, I'm a Dr. Smith, okay? Dr. Smith, but I promote teaching of like cooking. Okay, so are you gonna like dissect your chicken and then like analyze the health of your chicken before you cook it, right? It's so ridiculous. Then people fall into these traps believing that they're legit because they're a PhD, they're a doctor, whatever thing, right? They put a title in front and suddenly they become legit. I don't have a PhD, I don't have a doctor. I just come out and say, I'm a Taoist master. I teach this stuff for many years. And then people call me a scammer. It's funny, right? So back then, people call me a scammer because someone was black mouthing, well, what do you call that? Blackmailing me and bad mouthing me because I was busting their scam. Okay, so I busted scammers and I created enemies for myself. That was not bad, but that was poorly executed by me. So I accepted the problem. I learned my lesson. Back then I was young, right? So I did things like, you know, like wild. So I just like blasted out everything and I don't care what happened, you know, like that. And well, you don't do things like a 40 years old would, then of course, you know, there are consequences. So these enemies come back and backfired me and like do all kinds of rumors and things on me. So online, you will see some bad mouthing about me and things like that. And then, well, I brought the magic side to the Westerners' attention and say, you know what? You can actually blend these into modernized equipment. So I started like, you can put magic in flashlight. You can put magic into air guns. You can put magic into your game console. And up to today, I can tell you that that's true. In the past, you have swords, flags, and all that traditional tools. If you actually understand what magic is, you can put them into modernized tools, like my glasses, like my camera, like my phone. You can do that because what is magic? Magic is a way to communicate with the God that you belongs to and the God that you cultivate, so that you can use a tool to communicate with the God and tell the God a message. That is the real magic. If you don't even believe in your God, so it's like those guilo, they go to China and they get ordained, okay? Ordained. They say, oh, I want to be a disciple. And they go through the ceremony, right? And then when they come back, they go and learn Buddhism and then learn something else, right? It's like, you don't even believe that God exists, right? You go through the ceremony, you bow to that thing, and then you don't even believe it. Or else how would you go to other places? The oath, right? That paper that you read when you go through the ceremony. There's a line, determined to ordain for my life. I'm going to rely on this God, this Tao for my life. And then they just broke the promise when they go to another religion to bow to another God. It's like you got married, right? Oh, I'm going to be good and loving and truthful to my wife. And then the next month you have another bitch. Like these guaylo are just like that. It makes me mad looking at them. Like, how can you betray your God like this? If you're a Christian, stay a Christian. Don't betray your God, right? If you are a Taoist, stay as a Taoist and don't betray your God. What the heck is going on with these people? They're like so mind screwed. And then, okay, so if you don't even believe in your God, whatever magic, whatever ceremony you do, whatever spell you do, it's all fake. It's like you're saying, I love you to your wife, but at the same time, you have like 8 more women out there. That I love you is fake. It's just purely fake, right? So, you see, talking to your God, how can you talk to your God using a modern tool? Okay, let's say I set a code, right? I tell my God, so I am going to, like, I have a way to connect to the God. I say a short spell, okay? So this spell is set in the heart. So whenever I need to call the God up or talk to the God, I will say the spell first. So I take my phone and I make an agreement with the God. Whenever I tell you, like, and then I snap a picture, that picture will be what I want to tell you, like a message, like sending an SMS to the God, right? Okay, you made that agreement, the God agrees it. Then next time you take your phone, turn on the camera app, you do that spell, connect to the God, and then you take a picture. And then you save it into a folder exclusively for the God. Then the God will understand whenever you does that, that's a message you want to tell me. Okay, so today I want the God to give me like speed up my luck so that things will happen faster, right? So I take some pictures of fast moving object like fast cars and things like that. It's a way I want to relay the message to my God. My God knows it. He will give me the help. That's magic. So you see, magic is not that hard to understand. It's like a way for us to communicate with our God and getting the help from our God. Okay, so anyway, my timer is up. So we have to see you in the next episode. Hope you like this kind of show. And we'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.